am Mrs. Karpahambad, PGT Physics, KV ONGC Panvel. Today I am going to deal the unit number 8, atoms and nuclei. We will deal with the different atomic models in the first part. The first atomic structure was proposed by J.J. Thomson, but some drawbacks were there in this Thomson's atomic model, which was modified by Rutherford by alpha particle scattering experiment. According to Rutherford's atomic model, an atom contains a central core called nucleus and the electrons revolve around the nucleus. Again, this atomic model also had certain drawbacks. If an electron revolves around the nucleus, the centripetal force for the electron is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electrons. So, due to this centripetal force, this electron must have an accelerated motion. This accelerated electrons, according to electromagnetic theory, it must lose energy. When the electron loses energy, it makes a spiral path and finally it has to fall in the nucleus itself. But it does not happen so. Then this Rutherford's atomic model was modified by Bohr's atomic model, where Bohr postulated three postulates. One by one we are going to see it. According to Bohr, the electrons revolve around the nucleus, so there must be a centripetal force, and this centripetal force for the electron is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. The second postulate of Bohr's is the electrons revolve in stationary orbits. For that, the angular momentum of the revolving electron is equal to integral multiple of h by 2 pi, where h is the Planck's constant, n is the principal quantum number. If the angular momentum of an electron is equal to this nh by 2 pi, the electron does not radiate energy, and those orbits in which the electrons are revolving satisfying this condition is called, that orbits are called stationary orbits, and this is the quantized condition. Now, we will derive for radii of electrons in the Bohr stationary orbit. First, we will derive the expression for radii of orbit of electron in Bohr's stationary orbits. To derive this expression for radii of orbits, we will take from this expression, from this second equation, V is equal to nh by 2 pi r. Now, we are going to derive the expression for radii of orbits of electron in Bohr's stationary orbits. For that, from the equation 2, we take V is equal to nh by 2 pi r m, and substitute this value of V in equation 1, we get m by r V square. So, V is nh by 2 pi r m, V square, n square, h square, 4 pi square, r square, m square is equal to k z e square by r square. R square will go off, this m will get cancelled. To finally R is equal to n square h square by k z e square 4 pi square m. This is the expression for radii of orbit of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit. This radius proportional to the principal quantum number n square. Now we will derive the second expression, velocity of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit. To derive this expression for velocity of electron, from the expression 1 and 2 we will take in the form of R. From the expression 2, R is equal to n h by 2 pi m v, and from the first equation again R is equal to k z e square by m v square. Now equating these two equations, this will give the number 3 and 4. Equating the equations 3 and 4, nh by 2 pi m v is equal to k z e square by m v square. Now we have to derive the expression for velocity. So bring this v and v get cancelled. From the equation equating that 3 and 4, we get nh by 2 pi mv is equal to k z e square by mv square. M goes off, v. Therefore, nhv is equal to 2 pi k z e square. Now we have to find out the expression for velocity of the electron. So v is equal to 2 pi k z e square by nh. This is the expression for velocity of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit. Now we have to find out the total energy of electron in the stationary orbits. The total energy of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit. For the total energy, kinetic energy of an electron is half m v square. From the first equation, that is m v, Bohr's postulates say m v square by r is equal to k z e square by r square. From this equation 1, kinetic energy is this r, half m v square, r will go off. So kinetic energy is half m v square k z e square by r. Potential energy of the electron is minus k z e square by r. Now the total energy of the electron is, sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So, total energy is, kinetic energy is k Z E square by 2r plus potential energy is minus k Z E square by r. Therefore, total energy of an electron in the stationary orbit is minus k Z E square by 2r. This is the expression for total energy of electron in the Bohr's stationary orbit. Now, this total energy is, you can write in the other way, the kinetic energy of the electron, kinetic energy is minus of this total energy, and potential energy is 2 of twice that of the total energy. Kinetic energy we have the expression, potential energy we have the expression, total energy also we have, and from that we can see that this kinetic energy is nothing but minus of total energy and potential energy is twice that of the total energy. Now, in the total energy expression, total energy is equal to minus k Z E square by 2. Substitute the value of r from the equation. If you are substituting the value of r, it is n square h square k Z E square 4 pi square m. So, the expression total energy is minus 2 pi square m k square Z square e raised to 4 by n square h square. Now, this is the expression for total energy of electron in Bohr's stationary orbits. This total energy for the hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1. If you substitute Z is equal to 1 in this equation and all the other constant value if we work out, this expression total energy will become as expression for total energy is equal to minus 13.6 divided by n square electron volt for hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1. Substituting the value we will get total energy is equal to minus 13.6 by n square electron volt. If n is equal to 1, the total energy will be, energy of the electron in the first orbit will be minus 13.6 electron volt. If n is equal to 2, the total energy, that is E1 and E2, E2 is equal to this minus 13.6 divided by 4 electron volt. Here this is divided by 1. Then n is equal to 3, E3 is equal to minus 13.6 divided by 9 electron volt. So, as n increases, the negative value goes on decreasing. It means that the total energy also increases. While we are drawing the energy level diagram or the total, whenever an electron revolves in the stationary orbit, it does not lose energy. The absorption or emission of energy of electron takes place only when an electron moves from the one non-radiating orbit to another non-radiating orbit. Suppose if an electron jumps from the innermost orbit to the outermost orbit, there will be absorption of energy, and if an electron jumps from outermost orbit to the innermost orbit, there will be emission of energy. So, the energy emitted is equal to the difference in energy levels of these orbits. So, that is E2 minus E1. This energy difference, from this equation total energy we can find out that H nu is equal to E2 is, the total energy is minus 2 pi square m k square z square e raised to 4 h square into 1 by n2 square minus of 1 by n1 square. The wavelength of the emitted photon is, nu is c by lambda will take, h c by lambda is 2 pi square m k square z square e raised to 4 h square. This negative I am bringing inside. So, this equation will become 1 by n1 square minus of 1 by n2 square. Hc by lambda is equal to this much. 1 by lambda is equal to 2 pi square m k square z square e raised to 4 by c h cube into 1 by n1 square minus of n2 square, and this gives a constant, Rydberg constant, R into 1 by n1 square minus of 1 by n2.